everybody? Tyrone the God 3 here. Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Reviews. Today we'll be doing the review of episode 36. This episode is titled An Unexpectedly Tough Fight, Vegeta's Explosion of Rage. This episode was good. It was really good. Yeah, I liked it. This was a nice step up from the things that we've been going through in episode 34, some of 35. Yeah, like the 36 has definitely changed things around for me. Now, I'll get into the plot summary, and while I get into the plot summary, I'll explain a few things, because this episode did a really good job, but most of it is going to be my feelings on the episode as a whole. So, yeah. The episode begins basically where the last episode left off. The heat is making Vegeta harder to breathe, and I'm glad that they pay attention to detail here. Heat obviously rises, which means Vegeta's in the air, which means he's at a disadvantage being in the air. Goku tells him to fly down. This is proof that Goku is not an idiot, by the way. Goku knows how to fight. He is very knowledgeable when fighting. A lot of people, I don't know why, they always say that Goku's dumb or he wouldn't be able to figure things out faster than the others. No, Goku's taken martial arts training from several different masters. He obviously is smart in the ways of martial arts. So even he knew that Vegeta being in the air would be a disadvantage. But Vegeta's like, screw you, I'm Vegeta. Which, we get a lot of great Vegeta moments in this episode. Like, that fight that he had with Frost was completely unnecessary. If anything, I wouldn't mind if Piccolo and Frost had both been knocked out in the ring at the same time or had a tie. That way this fight could have just happened longer, because this fight definitely did a good job showing off both Vegeta and Magetta, because Magetta has gained a whole lot of character development out of this episode and this episode alone. His character is way more recognizable here, and I've gotten more out of Magetta than the 2 episodes I've gotten out of Magetta than the 3 I've gotten out of Frost. So there you go. Anyway, since the heat is making it harder for Vegeta to fight and fly around, because if he touches the barriers, he's out of bounds, what Magetta winds up doing is launching several different magma-based attacks. And this was also really cool, too. Magetta also releases some fart. I kind of wish it wasn't fart. I wish it was just some methane gas contained in Magetta, because it kind of decreases the seriousness of the fight. But whatever. The methane gas combined with all the lava obviously is going to ignite it in order to make it so it turns into an explosion. So they did their science here. And Vegeta almost gets knocked out of the ring, but he quickly uses an energy blast to cushion the blow so that he's just away from the barrier. So things are getting a little frustrating for Vegeta. Vegeta winds up charging the Galick Gun, which is a move we haven't officially seen in such a long time. And the way he charges it up is very Vegeta-esque. Like I said, we get a really great amount of Vegeta moments here. Like, a lot of the moments that Vegeta is very infamous for in Dragon Ball Z, we see here. Like, all down to the large charge times and him losing his cool, literally. Yeah, just great moments here. And he launches that Galick Gun, or Gallet Ho, towards Magetta. Magetta counters with a Magma Blast, and the Magma Blast slowly cools down and solidifies so that it turns into a rock substance. Magetta uses the piece of that rock substance as a club in order to hit Vegeta with later on after Vegeta knocks away the magma. When Vegeta gets hit, he falls out of the ring, or at least that's what everybody thought. Now, frankly, I think this is a really shitty cop-out. When you consider that in the other world tournaments, some people are going to be like, it's not canon, but they're both tournaments. I can use them as examples. In the other world tournament, Goku and Pikkon touched the ceiling, and that was a ring out because the ceiling was the floor and the floor was a ceiling. Even though the ceiling was representative of the floor and also looked like the ring, it was a ring. It still counted as a ring out. Vegeta is not out of bounds only because the ring that he's stepping on is outside of the ring, and that's from the fight prior with Goku versus Frost. So Vegeta lands on a rock and he's in bounds. It would have been better if Vegeta had just like stopped himself from falling by an inch or something. Doing this little rock thing to me just seems like a cop-out. But regardless, the fight goes on, and they actually do compliment on this too, because Vegeta's more pissed about this save than anyone, so it quickly makes up for it. Vegeta gets pissed off by this because he feels that he needed the rules in order to win this fight, which is irritating in itself. And Because hell, he could just go Super Saiyan Blue and end the damn thing right there. But he powers up, and when he powers up, he blows up the barrier, which I guess there's no rules about blowing up the barrier. The rules in this tournament are very flexible and wonky. Anyway, shards of the barrier, which they're pieces of energy, so I had no idea why they're a threat. But they scatter all over the place. Kabe ends up blocking some of them. Goku dodges some of them. Freaking Monaka doesn't even move. He just got lucky enough to not get hit by any. And then Hit blocks some with 2 fingers. That was kind of cool. So when that ends up happening, Vegeta gets pissed, and he's finally headed up to here and charges the Final Flash. Now, this Final Flash is very reminiscent of the one that he first used on Cell. The reason I say this is because everything that happens the exact same way. The triple take when he does the Flash power-up, and the pose that he takes, obviously. The lightning bolts that scatter all around the arena when he's charging up the blast, although they don't look as authentic as they did when he fought Cell. But they still look cool. And he charges up and he launches the Final Flash towards Magetta. Now, I love that Magetta did not go down like a bitch. Magetta launches a magma blast that's equally as powerful because he ends up powering up, and I love that his aura is red. Great attention to detail. The 2 blasts basically square off, but Vegeta's is stronger. Magetta gets hit, still is able to stay within the confines of the ring. Vegeta comes in, punches Magetta. Magetta holds that punch off. Vegeta charges with everything he's got, all the way to the point where Magetta and Vegeta's force break half of the arena. Magetta gets knocked out. It's a ring out. Vegeta's the official winner of the fight. Great fight. Vegeta gets some water. And while that's all happening, Goku points out the thing that I said before. If he had went Super Saiyan Blue to start with, it would have been over. But Vegeta obviously was holding his power back. And Goku states that he was holding his power back too for the exact same reason, and they both look at Hit. So they both know that Hit is a threat here. They both know or well aware that Hit is a threat, and they need to save their reserved power for this. Now, I'm going to go into this really quickly just to explain what I think is happening. A lot of people were wondering why did Vegeta and Goku just go Super Saiyan, regular old Super Saiyan, rather than going Super Saiyan Blue. Did they lose the ability or do they not need it anymore? My theory is they're able to reserve 2 forms of power. They're able to use their regular ki and their God ki, respectively, and switch between the 2. Much like Naruto did at the beginning of the Naruto series, where he used his blue chakra, and then when he ran out of that, he used his red chakra. A great example of this happening is in the fight between him versus Neji. When Naruto's using his red chakra, he's obviously stronger and faster, and has a whole reserve of chakra left because he's using the 9 tails rather than his regular chakra. The same principles being said here. Goku and Vegeta are using their regular ki energy, which isn't as strong, but it gives them basically a full tank of gas to use. And when that's all run out, they can use their reserve powers. Since both Goku and Vegeta know the full-powered Super Saiyan, they can go Super Saiyan without using up too much energy. That was my theory behind that. So, with that said, let's move on to the rest of the episode. Which is basically the it. Vegeta looks at Kabe, and Kabe is ready to fight, and the episode ends. But don't stop there. The highlight of this moment has to be the previews. The preview was great because we see that Vegeta and Kabe are fighting more or less on equal terms. Vegeta obviously having the advantage, but Kabe ends up surprising everybody by transforming Super Saiyan. Now, for those of y'all that are going, wait, Kabe's never heard of the transformation Super Saiyan. He stated it before, and I was disappointed by that as well. My theory about this is that Kabe's transformation is triggered in this fight. There's no fighter in Universe 6 who's given Kabe as much of a challenge as this fight right here. And because of that, I want to believe that Kabe gets pushed to the limits so much to the fact that he turns Super Saiyan to break his limits and becomes much stronger. Now, Kabe being Super Saiyan doesn't necessarily mean he's stronger, obviously, because Vegeta turns Super Saiyan Blue in that fight as we see in the previews. And also, we have to know how strong Kabe's base is. If Kabe is strong in his base form, then that means his Super Saiyan form will be considerably stronger because it multiplies his power times 50. But it's clear that Vegeta more than likely is going to win this fight because Super Saiyan Blue is just a power that Kabe can't reach, at least not off the bat. But then all of that said and done, I really love this episode for several reasons. One of those reasons is Magetta. I love that this fight wasn't easy for Vegeta. Well, technically it could have been if he went Super Saiyan Blue. But I love the fact that Magetta's strategy of fighting Vegeta was to use an environment to his advantage, to use the heat to his advantage. He used the heat to get Vegeta. There's more ways than winning than just who's stronger than what fighter. And with the rules, I think this was a really great way to utilize those, and the really great way to show that Magetta, while he obviously didn't stand a chance against Vegeta, still had a chance against Vegeta, if that makes any sense. So I love that Magetta actually gave Vegeta a run for his money. Even though he could have went Super Saiyan Blue, obviously, it still gave him a run for his money. And I love the fact that when Vegeta insulted Magetta, Magetta was crying. And they definitely showed him to have a really good fight. The fight had a really good conclusion. And Vegeta, while he showed a little shitty sportsmanship towards the end there, Magetta definitely shows to be a kind-hearted Metal Man-based robot. And I love that about that entire situation. I love that it didn't just become he didn't just become a generic character, and I really like that. So, with that said, a lot of hype for the next episode, which is episode 37. Don't forget your Saiyan Pride Vegeta versus the Saiyans of Universe 6. See you all next time, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.